Hi, everybody. Happy Memorial Day. Um, Welcome, my lovely guest. Aiden is back in the swamp. Yay! School's out. He's got the summer off. And
Yes.
did you decide where you're going on vacation?
No.
Not yet.
For me, it's always like, Aiden, where should I go? Oh, wait, I don't want to spend money because what if I need that money in the future? So I'd rather save it for something important. But wait, a vacation is important. So what am I doing? So then I just don't decide to go on a vacation.
I bet if you put out the call, you'd get a bunch of people tell you, "Oh, you can come here. I got a spare room."
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the best way to travel when you got somebody with a spare room and then you're not putting out money for hotels and stuff because that gets expensive.
Yeah, and I wanted to go back to La Jolla this summer, but it's so expensive over
It
there.
is.
It
Yeah.
was like $500 a night for a hotel room.
I was lucky when I lived in Phoenix. My son, right after basic training, he was sent to San Diego for school because he was sonar tech, and so he's right there in San Diego. So I could. It was like a 4.5, 5 hour drive from Phoenix to San Diego. And on the weekends, I would just pop over and drive over and go see him. But I could stay. The base had their own hotel, so he could go and rent me a room that was like 35 dollars a night to stay on base as opposed to $130 a night to stay at a Motel 8 or something. Um, so yeah, it was nice to be able to go. We My mom finally came with me one time for Memorial Day weekend, and he took us over to La Jolla to go see Seal Beach, go see the seals and everything. And it's like, yeah, I think I prefer watching this stuff on TV because these suckers stink. You don't realize how bad they smell until you get there. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah, and they're very big. I was like, oh my gosh, that's like honestly like two times the size of me, three times the size of me. I'm like, oh my gosh. But it's honestly San Diego and La Jolla is just like honestly such a happy, magical place, beautiful, good vibes. So I love it. I want to go back. But
Yeah, it's pretty. San Diego's a pretty area. Um, Sue, Butterfly Kisses, she lives in San Diego.
oh wow.
And she does a lot of little video shorts that she'll different areas around town and whatnot. She'll go and film, a little, 30-second, 1 minute, 2 minute video clip, and then throw it up on YouTube. And that's kind of cool.
I
Just about
love
anywhere
that.
she's gone, I sit and watch them. I go, oh yeah, I went there. Oh yeah, I went there.
I can live vicariously through her.
There you go. As long as I have a swimming pool nearby, I'm good. So
Yeah.
at our complex, we have 4 pools, so I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah, and I have
Um,
a irrational fear of sharks, so I love a good swimming pool.
yeah. Well, I love to go to the beach. I don't particularly care for salt water because it dries your skin out really bad. Um, and yeah, the shark thing, jellyfish can really sting. And if if depending on if there's any storms out to sea, will depend on if you've got a lot of seaweed in the water. Um, and of course, on our side of the Mississippi, where I am and where you are, the Gulf is because the Mississippi dumps and the way the current runs, it dumps all that muddy river water west. And so that's why our beaches look a lot yuckier than when you go east of the Mississippi and you get all the white sand and the blue water and all the pretty. I lived in Fort Walton Beach, Florida, right next to Destin from 1969 to 1975. And I miss it. I miss being on the beach because
Yeah.
we lived at the beach. It was like any day we had a day off from school or anything, to the beach. And that was great.
Yeah. I mean, the only beaches I've gone to in Texas, I've been to Port Aransas.
I haven't been there.
What other beaches are there? I've been to Christi.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, the beaches are kind of yucky. And it's like with like the seaweed, and it always smells like wet.
Wet
I
fish.
don't know, wet fish.
Yeah.
And there's like seaweed everywhere, and then it touches your foot, and then you freak out because you think it's a shark, and then you have irrational fears of sharks for the rest of your life.
Yeah. Well, what was it? My freshman year of high school, I think, is when Jaws came out. And it was the first like summer blockbuster, as it was put back in the day. Nobody had seen a movie play like all summer long and then some, until Jaws came out. And yeah, people, there was a real irrational fear going around of people going to the beach. They didn't want to go in the water because they're like, I don't know what's in the water with me. It's like, yeah, especially the beaches here. Go to Florida, it's a little different. You can see your toes in the sand, but
Yeah.
um,
And I really do think that TikTok listens to me when I'm not on TikTok, because like every time I log in, and now it's all about sharks. I don't want to be looking at videos of sharks swimming in the ocean. Like that is not what I joined the app to look at. But it's opening me up to even more fears. Like now I'm kind of a little bit scared of orcas, killer whales, because
there's been
there's
like a rash of orcas attacking boats and stuff. I saw that just the other day on a news article. I was like, really?
yeah.
That's wild.
And what's scary is that great white sharks are being hunted by orcas. So the orcas will basically come by the great white shark and like okay, I don't want to get too into it, but like and like try to eat them, and orcas the majority of the time they win. So I'm a little scared of the orcas. Like I'm not going to SeaWorld. I don't support SeaWorld, and I don't want to go into close proximity with an orca.
Yeah, I've I actually got bit by a sand shark when I was about 13. I still have the scar on my foot. And I was on the bay side, not in the Gulf side, and there was like a little park where they had like a boardwalk slash pier that went out into the water, and then they had like a high platform where you could jump off, dive in the deeper areas, and then the lower areas where you could just jump off the dock and into the water and swim. And there was a bunch of us playing around, and I had jumped off the dock into the water, and I landed on top of something. I was like, what the hell was that? I mean, it was like, I don't know, 12, 13, something like that. And the next thing I know, I felt something kind of sting on my foot. It was like, what the hell? Did a crab just get me? I crawled out of the water, and I had a little bite on my, and then we could see the shark swimming away. I was like, damn, man.
Oh my gosh.
And it wasn't very big. I mean, it was maybe 2 feet long. It was a little bitty one. So yeah,
Yeah.
that was a trip.
Yeah, I mean, I I I I remember when I went to Hawaii, and we were on like a little boat, and we were like on the coast of one of the islands, and we stopped to go snorkeling, and I at the time I was like, yeah, let's go snorkeling, and then I realized, oh wait, sharks exist.
Yeah, there's other things swimming in the water with you.
And I realized that when I was in the water. So like I was like, okay, this is fun. I don't see a lot of fish. I wonder why that is. I um and then I was like, oh wait, that's because there's probably sharks around. So I climbed up and got back on that boat. And
I know, like I said, my son was stationed when he got out of basic. He went to San Diego. He was there for a year and a half, and then he finally got his orders, and they sent him to Pearl Harbor. So that was his first ship assignment was Hawaii. I was like, who goes from San Diego to Hawaii when they first, because we thought they would ship them overseas. Now he did have to do 2 deployments to the Persian Gulf, but um, Mama got a trip to Hawaii out of the deal, so I can't complain. As soon as he told me he got his orders, I was like, hot damn, Mama's going to Hawaii. And when he got back from his second deployment, he flew me out. And of course, he and one of his shipmates had rented a house, so I didn't have to pay for a hotel. I didn't have to rent a car because he had a car because he was living there. Um, so I got off pretty easy cost wise when I was in Hawaii. But he took me to the North Shore where all the really big waves are, where they do all the surfing contests and stuff. And oh wow, I mean, just all kinds of places. He took me over to the Buddhist temple that's there. It's an exact replica of an 800-year-old temple in Japan, and so I get to ring the gong and go inside and light the incense and whatnot, and that was really cool. Um, it was set up around like a cemetery that was there where the temple was at. It was like one section of the cemetery were for like Buddhist or Hindus, and another section were for like Jewish people, and another section was for like Christians. It's like they had the cemetery broke up into different religions, and then you could, that way you could bury your person wherever they belonged, I guess you could say. And I thought that was kind of cool. Um, I like
Yeah.
to go walk through old cemeteries. I know people think I'm weird, but when you do it, if you it's to read the headstones, because back in the day they didn't just put Joe Blow, you know, born this date, died this date. There would be like a whole soliloquy. I'll get it out in a minute. Written on the headstone about that person, good or bad. I mean, some of them are quite funny because it's like they get their final revenge on the person by putting something on their headstone. I was like, man,
Yeah.
that takes some guts.
Yeah, it depends on who writes it. If your enemy is a gravestone cutter writer, then,
Yeah.
expect the
How
worst. If
pissed
you
off was your spouse when you died?
Yeah, I remember, like, probably, like, 6 years ago, I went to Oklahoma, and, there's a lot of small towns in Oklahoma, um,
Yeah.
and there's this one small town that my family and I went to, and, I didn't really have that much of a say. I was probably about, like, 14, and it turns out it was an almost abandoned clown town. So it was like a town full of circus performers that were clowns, and like the town was like almost abandoned. And all that was there was just this one guy who ran a clown museum and attended or tended to a clown graveyard. So, and my family thought it was a good
Now that's
idea.
funny.
Yeah, my family thought it was a good idea to go to this clown museum slash clown graveyard and figure out what was going on. So we literally went inside this museum, and all around clown dolls, and that
No,
unlocked a
that
new
would have
fear for
done
me.
me in right there. Dolls freak me out.
That unlocked a new fear for me. So now it's not only sharks, but also clowns and clown dolls.
Yeah, I don't like
And
clowns either.
yeah,
And
we went to the clown cemetery, and it was full of clown gravestones. So like a seal with like a ball on its nose balancing it, a jester, so like a bunch of different like gravestones that represented these people doing these clown things. And
yeah,
I thought it was cool, but at the same time I thought it was scary because like they would like imagine like stone cutouts of the scariest looking clowns you've ever seen. And knowing that when you're walking around this gravesite, you're walking basically on the remains of clowns. So,
Yeah.
that kind of scared me a little bit. So yeah, we're just talking about all our fears today.
Yeah, that's it. Let's get it out there.
Let's get it
I
out
mean,
there
we're
on
talking about dead people today. It's Memorial Day.
yes.
So,
Happy
with all
Memorial
the
Day to everybody.
fallen, a little plug for a movie for anybody out there. If you ever get a chance to watch a movie called Taking Chance with Kevin Bacon, that is hands down one of the best movies I've ever seen. It's a tearjerker. Watch it with a box of Kleenex next to you because you will cry. Um, I was trying to give the synopsis of it to my son earlier and started crying just telling him about it. He was like, "Okay, I don't think I want to watch that one today," because he was
Yeah.
watching Good Morning Vietnam. So I was like, "Yeah, that's an excellent movie." Um, there's some good ones that'll come out today. Some good, yeah. Kevin Bacon is a great actor. So we've got a handful of people in here. They're already asking us what kind of questions can they ask.
Oh yeah, I
You know?
I can't see the chat. So who's
Oh, okay.
here?
I'll start posting things up then because I forget sometimes y'all can't see the chat. And clowns were okay until the movie It. No, clowns were freaky to me long before It ever came around.
I remember that time I was in like sixth or seventh grade, and it was breaking news across America that there were killer clowns on the loose.
I remember that. Yeah, there was like these weird ass clowns.
And there was a forest nearby our school, and people would like say that they saw a clown, and then everybody would get scared. So I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, I honest to God, I'm trying to run back through. Flowing, what you cooking? That sounds good. I hear my cat behind me. Well, the dog is sleeping. I hear the cat somewhere. She's pitching a fit. As long as she doesn't jump up here, I got a candle burning. So all I need is for the get knocked into the curtains.
I'm so happy
Um,
to see some familiar people and some new people. Thank you for, watching me. I know I've been MIA for a while, but I'm just glad that Sherry invited me to come on with her.
oh yeah, for sure. I mean, the minute I realize, oh, school's out, I can hit Aiden up.
Yeah, you're like one of the first to,
Because I mean,
to
we still work because we're staff. We're not faculty or students. But we just had graduation um, last weekend. I think it was weekend before last. I don't remember. So that's when it hit me. I was like, oh, I got to hit Aiden up. He's got to be out of school by now. So, because I just enjoy your company, I enjoy your energy,
Aw, thank you. I enjoy
and
yours too.
so you always make me laugh. And let me see. Will war stop in 15 years, 50 years? Boy, that's a good question.
Yeah. You know what? I think it depends on your definition of war. I think we'll see a lot more of threatening going on. So think of it more as the Cold War type, where nothing really happened. It was just like a standoff between like Russia and the US, and other countries got involved. But I don't think war is ever going to end. Like, and
No, there's always going to be those would be
conflict is
dictators that want
always going
to
to be there.
rule the world. And,
Yeah.
um, I know the first war I remember, it was Vietnam. And that was in the late 60s, early 70s. And we actually lived in Florida at the time next to an Air Force base. My mother worked civil service. And she was actually worked as a cocktail waitress and bartender in the NCO club, the non-commissioned officers club, and then just kind of moved up the ranks from there. Um, but I mean, I watched a lot of young men and older men, you know, leave for war and I watched a lot of them not come back, and the ones that did were effed up bad. I mean, if not physically, then mentally. Vietnam did a number on people.
Yeah.
Um, I have a brother-in-law who was in the Navy, but he was a medic, and his job was to go take the boats to shore to pick up the body bags and bring them back to the ship to start the process to get them home. And I know he's talked about in the past that the hardest thing was when you had four body bags and it was supposed to be one person, and then you had to try to match up the parts with the right person because they would be blown to smithereens, and you just hoped you got the right pieces together. And like, man, that's rough. I can't even imagine that. And I know my brother he was just about to ship out during Desert Storm when that ended. That was back in the 80s, late 80s, I think Desert Storm was. Um, and then late 80s, early 90s. And then my son was in the Navy from 2006 to 2011. So he was kind of, I don't even know what the hell they call that war, if it even has a name for it. But he was in he went two deployments to the Persian Gulf. They went but the cool part is he got to go to New Zealand and Australia and Guam, and uh, they went to Dubai in India, in United Arab Emirates, however the hell you say that. I've got pictures of him that he sent me from Dubai, where the largest shopping mall in the world is at. There's like 3 or 4 floors. That's an indoor ski resort with real snow. They have like snow machines that make snow. And there's pictures of him skiing in Dubai in the middle of the desert in the snow in um, this
Oh my
ski resort
God.
in this mall. I was like, that's too wild.
I would love that because the last time I went skiing, every single part of my face and hands were sunburned. So
Yeah,
that would be good at that I sit inside. I wouldn't have to worry about putting on sunscreen. But yeah, what did you get for this question?
let me see. I'm going to star a couple of these here. Let's see what we get. Um, I mean, I feel just just what I'm kind of feeling and hearing. War will never end. There will always be war because there will always be conflicts. There will always be greed and jealousy and that kind of thing. And that's pretty much what causes wars, is because somebody gets jealous of something somebody else has, and so they start a war so they can take it. And let's see. I pull the Two of Earth, which is Pentacles. It says too much going on at once, the need to make a decision. Consider a more playful approach. Never quite heard of it that way. But you think about it. Don't we all grow up playing war in, in the yard? I mean, when I was a kid, it was cowboys and Indians. That's what we played, which is the precursor for war. And and my two cousins always made me the Indian so they could shoot me and kill me. My two male cousins, I should say. Uh, and we would play in the ditches. I mean, that was our trenches, that we would fight from, was the ditch, and that was in Beaumont, Texas. That's where I grew up. So, um, and we always played. Oh, okay. And then I pulled the World, Archangel Michael. We're slowly moving towards enlightenment, and maybe one day we'll get to the point where We don't have to do war anymore. But I don't think it's going to stop anytime soon. And I think that right now, Ukraine is showing the entire world what it means to stand up for yourself and not give in. Because what have
Yeah.
we learned? We've learned that Russia is not nearly the boogeyman that everybody thought they were. You know, that their military is, their equipment is outdated and falling apart. Um, but they've had this persona as being like the strongest military in the world, maybe besides us. And while we spend a fortune on our military, far more than we should, personally, I think, um, they were just pocketing all that money and not really upgrading their stuff. So I think in the beginning, that's why Ukraine was able to kind of push back as quickly as they did, because they kind of like pull the blindfold off everybody to show them they're not that bad. You know,
Yeah.
if our grandmothers can shame them by telling them they're being bad boys. I don't know if you ever saw that video back when it first started. There was a grandmother who faced off with like two or three Russian soldiers, and she was giving them what for. Somebody was like translating in the thing, and basically she was telling them, "I'm carrying sunflower seeds in my pockets because you'll be growing the sunflowers. I will put my seeds on your graves." I'm like, oh my God, that's pretty rough.
Yeah. I know the war still isn't over, and it's not going to be over until the leader is gone.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, for this question, I agree with you. I don't think that war is ever going to end. And I'm sitting here because I'm like, well, we saw what modern day war looks like with Ukraine, and I feel like there's going to be a lot less people going to the front lines and shooting. I definitely think it's going to be um, more use of like chemical warfare.
Yeah.
So like dropping things from the sky and infecting citizens. I do see. I saw this last year. I do see like in the next 5 years, there's going to be a big war in Africa.
Yeah.
Either in like Zimbabwe or I always got Zimbabwe,
Yeah.
and
That's been building.
and
Yeah,
I
Isabella, the same here. It's I've got a long line of family in the military, all
yeah,
branches. You
yeah,
know, both of my grandfathers, one was Army, one was Navy, one fought in Europe, one fought in the Pacific. Um, um, and yeah, I mean, just like I said, my one of my brother-in-laws was in Nam. My husband was in the Navy during Nam. Um, I have uncles and cousins who fought during Vietnam and then onwards. Um, two grandfathers, both in World War II. I had some great uncles that were in the Korean War. So, yeah. Um, in fact, one of my great aunts was real into genealogy stuff, traced our family lines of our family history back to the 1300s. Um, and she traced us. We were in the Revolutionary War, we were in the Civil War, we were in the War of Texas and the Alamo. And so, yeah, there's been somebody fighting in our family as long back as we've been able to research. So that's kind of cool.
yeah,
But at the same time, it's kind of depressing to think that,
yeah.
you know, I got to turn my fan on.
My nose is running. If you couldn't tell, I don't know. I There's always allergies with me.
Oh, I know, and it's hot. And I have a huge double window right here to the left of me. As y'all can see, the light coming in, and it's even though I have the curtains up and the blinds shut, I can feel the heat coming through the coming through the window. I was like, okay, I'm losing my makeup here.
Yeah, my room isn't insulated very well, so the heat soaks in.
Well, down here, and I mean, the apartment I live in is actually fairly well insulated. Surprisingly, my power bills are not expensive at all, considering how hot it gets here, and that we have a full size washer and dryer that run almost all the time. With four of us living here, somebody's always washing something. Um, let me see. All right. First question, Jacqueline Mason. Hi, Jacqueline. You're a new name. Welcome. Um, Preparing to move to another state. Do you see a smooth transition for me? Okay. I'm going to go to my tarot and then I'm going to pull an oracle, I think. I like my new tarot deck I got. It's Angel Tarot. It's
Oh wow.
um I've discovered this wonderful website called Temu, Temu.
Oh yeah, I think I've heard of it.
I've been buying shit like crazy. It's so cheap and they don't charge shipping,
Oh,
which
that's
is even
cool.
better. Yeah, it's like cheap crap from China, but they don't charge shipping and it gets here quick. Everything I've ordered, with the exception of one order, which took like 2 days longer than they thought, everything's been in within like a week.
Oh my gosh,
And,
that's so cool.
and they've got a bunch of cards and stuff. I must have ordered, I bet you, a dozen decks of cards.
Oh my gosh.
And for like three, two, three, $4, $5 a
Oh
deck.
my gosh.
Yeah.
So cool. Well, why don't you start with the reading? I'm gonna go get a tissue because like my nose is like so running right now.
You got it.
Okay, be right back.
Okay. All right. Let's see, Jacqueline. Oh, you're right, Rose. Yeah, you have to make sure you clean your dryer out. That's the one thing I have to admit. Everybody in the house is really good about cleaning out the lint filter when they when they Okay, Jacqueline, what I got for you is we're starting out with the Ace of Water, which is cups. And it says spiritual growth, a new home. So this very first card is saying a new home. So I would think that's a smooth transition. And then I pull the Nine of Air, which is swords. It says stop expecting the worst. That's a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you expect the worst, you're going to get the worst. So turn it around, expect it to be smooth sailing, no issues. And then I pulled the Four of Air, again swords. It says take time to rest, take a vacation, allow yourself a little more time before making a final decision. So I don't know if you already have a place to move to, but if plans aren't already finalized, I would take a little extra time to think about where you're going and if you found a place to go. Um, Basically, they're telling me, yeah, you're going to go, no problems, as long as you think positive about it. and don't self fulfill your own prophecy that things are going to go when you leave. So think about the good stuff. Um, all right, Aiden, it's up to you.
Yeah, so I don't think I think most of the things that you'll have trouble with are coming from yourself, like your own thoughts holding you back a little bit. A little bit what Sherry was saying. Um, I get the Nine of Wands, which you are very like resilient. You know how to get back up once you fall down. Um, However, I think you tend to like overanalyze a lot, second guess yourself, and that could be hurtful a little bit sometimes because when we really want something to go smoothly, it's all about how we feel about that situation. Like if I wanted to move to California and I had a lot of built up fear and tension in my heart, that can manifest itself into reality. So we definitely need to find a way for you to move without all this tension. But I do think that in this new place, I get the Page of Wands and the Page of Cups. It's definitely um, just new energy that you haven't felt in a while. I think you're gonna have a great time wherever you move to.
Done?
Yes.
All right. Well, Jacqueline, I hope that helped. Hope that resonated with you, my dear. Okay, next up we have Sandra Wells, who is saying today is her cousin Gail's birthday. She passed last year. Does she have a message? If you're ready, you can go. I'm going to
Okay.
shuffle through a
Well,
few oracles here.
I do think that when I first like connect with her, I do see her really as being kind of opinionated, kind of rigid in her beliefs. That could be like anything from political to how she operated in your relationship with her. Um, I see her as being like very loving and caring for those people in her life that she was close to and would never back down from defending them or supporting them. Um, but yeah, I do get the five of swords reversed, and I do think that sometimes in your relationship with her, um, there might have been like a little bit of tension. I don't know if this could have been recently or like years ago, but I feel like there was a little bit of tension. And I get the Two of Cups reversed, which is again a little bit more tension. Maybe some misunderstandings when it came to like political ideas or something like that. Something about how there was a disconnect between how the both of you lived your lives, but you still loved each other. Let me know if that makes sense because like that's kind of the energy I'm picking up. But I think she wants you to know that she loves you and she appreciates you being there for her in like in spirit and in person. So yeah, I'm just picking up a bunch of love and admiration.
Okay, making sure I didn't miss anybody. All right. Starting off, I pulled from the Spirit Animal Oracle deck, Beaver Spirit. She's telling you to lay a foundation, a solid foundation. Whatever it is that you're working on, in your personal life. She's wanting you to make sure you've got a good foundation laid down for it. And then I pulled awakening, um, a new way of being. Part of that has to do with the fact that we're all transitioning right now. We're all kind of moving into that higher realm of being, of thinking. She's letting you know that there's a new way, and it's time for you to awaken. And then I ended it out with the gibbous moon. It says you're very close to achieving your goal. So I think what she's trying to tell you is she wants you to be sure you have a really strong foundation with what you're working on, whatever it is going on in your life right now, because it's awakening. Things are moving, shifting for the better. And here she's telling you you're very close to achieving the goal that you've set for yourself. So, whatever goal it is that you've set for yourself, she's telling you you're getting close to having it done. So, that's what I'm pulling up from her. And I hope that resonated with you. Um, let's see. Next message. Isabella, any message from beyond? Like, you want a love message? You want a work message? You want a money message?
I'll just draw a card and see
Yeah,
whatever comes up.
I'm going to go with this one here.
This is a deck that I love, but I normally can't explain what any of it means. So I'll just um
Yeah, like I said, I've recently bought probably a dozen Oracle decks and a couple of tarot decks too. Um, very
yeah,
much on the divine end of things.
yeah.
And
I got this card for you, Isabella. You came here to help turn off the lights. I could like get the book and tell you what it means, but let's see. You came here to turn off the lights. See, like this is what I'm talking about. I have no idea what this means. Heard upon waking, whispered into an empty room, intuitively understood. So maybe you came here to help turn off the lights means like you came here to help open people's eyes to important things that are going on in this world.
there you go. And I pulled from Siddhartha Gautama Buddha. I'm probably butchered that name. This is from the Ascended Masters deck, I think. And all it simply says is meditate. They're telling you take some time out for you and meditate. Plug into what spirit is saying. Um, I personally, that's my weakest point is trying to meditate because I have trouble getting my brain to shut up and stop thinking of 20 things at once. But I'm working on it. So take a little bit of downtime. Go go sit under a tree and just listen to the birds sing, or go to the beach, or go to the river, or go wherever you're at.
Or go
Um,
shark diving in a shark tank.
there you go. That'll get the blood pumping.
Yeah.
And that's a good way to get over your fear of sharks. Jump in a tank full of sharks. No, not I, said the cat.
No.
Um, and Sandra says that it all resonated to thank us.
Yeah.
So good. I'm glad it resonated with you. Okay, let's see. Next up is Eleonora, wanting to know if she's moving to Florida to go live with her son. Am I making the right decision?
You know, I think without even drawing a card, I think you are. I think
Yeah.
If you feel like your son needs you, then you're definitely on the right track. I do think that let me draw some cards.
The first thing I heard in my head was yes. Um,
Yeah, I got the Queen of Wands, which it probably is you since you're a mother figure to your son. Um, someone that's very inspiring. There's like I like the sunflower on here. I don't know what that represents, but I like that. And there's like a little black cat at the bottom too. Um, yeah, I get the Three of Wands. I don't know if your son's expanding his life, which that can either mean your son's in a relationship or there's something he needs help with, and only a mother can provide that type of help. I don't know if that makes sense, but I
as a
do think
mother,
it's
yeah, that makes perfect sense.
yeah. I don't know if that um I don't know if he's like in a relationship or if he has kids and he might need help with them, or I don't know, but I think that you're going to be very helpful in his life, and I think it's going to be the right decision for you.
Okay, hang on, Patricia. I'm looking for your question. I missed it. Um, I know. I got you. I got you, Patricia. I got you. No problem. I got you starred. Okay. And Eleonora, the first thing. Okay, wow. The first thing I pulled was from the Work Your Light Oracle deck. It says protection, soul retrieval. So it's, you're going there, I think, to provide protection for your son. Um, I don't know if he has any family, children, or anything, but you going is a good. That's the first thing I heard in my head was, yeah, that's the right decision. And then I pulled Archangel Uriel, the sun. You can't get better than that. I mean, that's telling you, yeah, that's a right decision right there. Is pulling the sun. And then from Archangel Gabriel, I got awakening. So you got two major arcana to go with the oracle, and they're all saying the same thing. You're there for you're you're going for the right reasons, and you're going for spiritual reasons. That's going to um, help your son in his time of need. So I hope that resonates. I know Aiden and I are a little droopy this morning. I'm sorry. It's hot down here. It's nobody wants to do anything. Okay, Patricia. Um, do you see me living in the right apartment that feels good to me? November, December.
I know
Okay.
you've been looking for an apartment this whole time. I mean, I remember, I think it was last summer where you were asking about moving because like your neighbors were too loud. Hopefully you got that fixed. Hopefully you're not still having to deal with that. See, I have a good memory. um, let's see what. Okay.
Oh, thank you, Viviani. She's in there posting all of our stuff.
Thank you. Yeah, Viviane, I nominated you and Patricia and a few others for
Yep, me
moderator.
too. I know I had to fuss at Kevin. I said, dude, you forgot me. If for whatever reason my email didn't go through to him, I mean, it shows
Oh
I
no.
sent it. It shows it went. He never got it. He's like, I'll add you after the fact. I said, okay, that's cool. Said, I don't need my name up on anything. I just wanted you to know that. Um, oh, there you are.
Oh no. I don't know what
You froze
happened.
up.
Um,
She
Yeah.
says she's in another apartment but would like a better renovation. Yeah,
Yeah.
I hear you.
Oh, yeah. Eleanor says, my son, he is married, very wealthy. They know what I'm going through. Thank you very much.
Good. See, so you're there for there. You're going there for a reason. It's not only going to help you, but you're going there to help them.
Yeah.
And
Um, Hi, Miss Tarot G.
hello, my love. How are you doing? A friend of hers did a picture, drew a picture, painted a picture of Miss Tarot D, and she posted it on her website, on
Oh,
her
wow.
Facebook, and it's a great picture. I love it. It was like, oh my god, that's so you. And
What did you get for Patricia?
all right, let's see. Okay, 3 cards. First thing I got was the 8 of Earth, which is Pentacles. It says skill work is rewarded, learning all there is to know about a topic. Going back to school. So I think they're saying is you're learning all you can about finding the right apartment because knowledge is going to help you make a good choice. If you know where you're going to and what, it helps you decide if you're going from a bad situation to a better situation. Um, I mean, down here where I live, the first thing I tell people when they start house hunting is wait until after it rains for a couple of days and then go look and see which streets are underwater, who's already got sandbags out by their doors, because they're the areas that are going to flood first. So you want to be aware of that because they don't have to tell you that down here. Um, Next thing I pulled was the Ace of Water, which is cups, and it says a new home. So that right there is telling you you're going to find the right place because it's good. You're going to a new home, so that's awesome. And then I pulled Archangel Gabriel again, Awakening. Um, Look at things from a different perspective, um, and it's important to be yourself. So again, keep doing your research. Keep looking into what it is that you need. I mean, do you need several bedrooms, just one bedroom? Do you need multiple bathrooms? Do you need washer dryer connections? I mean, all kinds of things. You know, do you need it to be on a bus line? That way, that's one of the good things where I'm at is it's on the bus line. If I have to, I can take the bus to get to work. And actually, it's like 2 blocks and across the street from our massive parking for campus, where they have campus buses that run every half hour. And you get there, and then you can ride the bus to campus. So
Oh.
it's like I would have to make a lot of adjustments timing wise for myself. But I mean, if I had to, if my car finally completely ups and dies, not yet, please God, um, then yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot of things to take in. You know, if you get a lot of flooding in your area or in the area you're moving to, go check it out after a hard rain. Make sure it's not an area that floods easily.
Yeah.
Go and go on a Friday or a Saturday night, like around 10 or 11 o'clock. Just drive through the neighborhood of the places you're thinking of. Are there cop cars everywhere? Is there loud music blasting out into the streets? Is it a quiet neighborhood? You know, I mean, I live in a university town. I mean, Aiden knows this. He's going to school. I live in a university town. I work on campus. There are certain neighborhoods, especially closer to campus, where, yeah, if you're just a family or a single person not involved with the school, you wouldn't want to live there. It's too loud, too much going on, kids everywhere. And, so you have to take all that stuff into
Yeah.
consideration.
I
But I
feel
feel
like,
like you're moving to a new place.
yeah, I feel like for you, Patricia, one of the main things that you're probably looking at is safety. And that includes things like the noise level, the type of vibe that is in the apartment complex. And I think that another thing that is gonna matter to you is the space, like the size, like the space. I feel like a lot of the things that you're looking at might be a little too small for you. I feel like you might feel a little boxed in. Um, and I did get that. I think you're gonna move towards the beginning of next year, so January. Because it's funny because Sherry had an 8 card and I get the 8 of cups, and I did the math.
That
May,
was what I had, the Ace of Cups.
oh yeah, so May plus 8 equals January of next year.
There you go. There you
So
go.
yeah, and
You just got a new subscriber, Miss
oh,
Terrell
thank
D.
you.
Just subbed to your channel.
Thank you. Yeah, I do think that it's gonna be all up to compromise. I don't think you're gonna find something 100% that you agree with. I think that it's important to compromise with what you have.
Yeah, she said that. I actually lived in an apartment when I was in Arizona in Scottsdale. I kept telling them the water was dripping out of the ceiling over the bathtub. And I was like, what am I going to do if I'm in the tub and the damn bathtub above me falls through the ceiling, And they kept saying, oh, no, I wouldn't do that. I was, fortunately, I wasn't in the shower, but I had just been in the shower and was getting dressed when I heard this loud boom. I was like, what the hell? I opened the bathroom door back up, and a big chunk of the ceiling had fell into the bathtub. Needless to say, I was raising hell with him about that. Like, I'd just been in that bathtub 10 minutes before. What if I'd been in the tub with it? Somebody told me later, you should have said you were in the tub, Sherry. You could have sued him. I'm like, that would be lying, and I couldn't do it. I just can't do that. So,
Yeah.
but so I hope that helps. I hope that helps, Patricia. Um, oh, you're in New York, Upper East Side. Okay, yeah, I bet you there's some. I bet you it's expensive to live up there. Um, okay, next up, we've got Kathy. Can I have a card for the week? Absolutely. Let's see what we got. Patricia says, thank you so much.
Of course.
I'm just glad it resonated with you. Because I'm still recovering from Amy's birthday party last night.
I'm sure that was
We were on air for over 3 hours. I could barely walk by the time we got off air. My back was so locked up.
yeah, you guys partied hard. It
I'm
probably
telling
sent you
you.
back to your college days.
No, it wasn't that kind of party.
Well, okay. I don't know. I think
I did
watched
enough of that
replay.
when I was in college.
Yeah.
Although, well, that's a lie because I first went to college right after I graduated high school in 1979, and I went half a semester. I just quit going. I didn't even officially drop out. I just quit going. It was like, I don't want to do this. I'm sick
Yeah.
of school. And then it was 15 years later before I went back to school to get my degree. And so my priorities were a little different by that point.
Yeah.
Thank you, Isabella. She sent us a super sticker.
Aw. So cool.
So as soon as I get my first check from YouTube, I'll send Aiden half.
No, you don't have to do that.
And
Kathy, I got for you, life is beautiful, life is meaningful. So, I go by the saying, never take life too seriously. Life's all fun and games.
excuse me.
Yeah, it's okay. And, I go by the saying, like, life is all fun and games. Not everything has to be so serious. we go through a lot of serious things, but we don't have to let those things impact us mentally. Um, so just keep that in mind. Life is beautiful. Life is meaningful. If you're ever going through, like, I always talk about like slopes, like roller coasters. You, if you're going through those bottom lows, just always keep that in mind, because things could switch up any second, and you could win the lottery, and and be happy with that. So
From your
that's
mouth to spirit's ears.
yeah.
I can have to remember to buy a ticket. I always forget to buy a ticket. Yeah. You done?
Yes.
Okay. First thing I pulled from the Moonology was the full moon in Virgo. A little reminder, you are good enough. That's the first thing Spirit wants you to know. You're good enough. You're good enough to do whatever it is that you're working on. You're good enough. And then from the Spirit Animals Oracle, I pulled Peacock Spirit. It's telling you to let it shine. Strut your feathers. Shake your tail feathers, as that goes. Stretch your stuff. Shake your tail feathers. Show everybody the beautiful you that's inside. Let it be outside. And just shine your light on everyone. I think that'll make a big difference. Um, just shine your light this week. Just be that beacon. Be happy. Be loving. Be the one that people that work with you or know you or whatever be like, why is she so happy this week? Why do I feel so happy when I pop into her office or go by her house or run into her in the grocery store, that kind of thing? If you're happy, the people around you are going to be happy. Um, it's just kind of an automatic response. Just like when you smile, 99% of the people are going to smile back. Total strangers, And here in the South, Aiden knows this. He lives in the South. Total strangers can walk by, drive by. If we're outside, we're all like, hey, we wave and say hi. They wave and say hi back. Don't know who they are, don't care. But it's just a way that we are down here. When I first moved to Arizona, the first time I did that, I had people looking at me like I was crazy. They didn't know what I was doing. And one of my coworkers was like, "Who? You know that person?" I'm like, "No." Like, why were you waving at them? I said, because they drove by. Why not wave at them? I mean, that's how we do things. And
You never know how much your attitude can impact someone else's day.
that's it.
And that's why I always try to come on YouTube, especially, being like very positive, very, I mean, that's what I've like dealt with or had difficulty with, showing more vulnerable sides of me. Like, I want people to see me and like be happy, and I don't know. It's kind of hard because when you're on YouTube, you only show a certain side, a certain portion of your life. Um, but yeah, I think that um, for the last question, I think that you might have like a little bit of self doubt about yourself and may be feeling a little down. And I just think that it's important for you to realize that you have people in your life that are there for you, and you have thousands, not thousands, you have shoulders to cry on. If you ever feel sad, and you don't have to keep the sadness inside of you, you feel free to release it. So I think based on what I heard from Sherry and what I saw in my cards, I think,
Thank you, Viviani. Got another super sticker.
oh, look how nice.
And so I hope that resonated for you, darling, that helped. Next up, we've got one question left after Viviani, and we just went over the hour mark, and I know that you wanted to keep it as close to an hour as you could. So if you've got enough time, we can do these last two,
Yeah,
and
let's do
then
it.
we'll wrap it up and let everybody go about their Memorial Day I gotta wash one more load of clothes, and I think I'm gonna go hit the pool.
Oh, that's cool. Do you have like a community pool center?
I'm in an apartment complex. We have 4 swimming pools here. So
Oh my gosh.
yeah, and they just put a brand new one in last summer, like one building over from where I'm at. So I'm like, yeah, I'm ready for the
Do they have like a
ready
water
to hit the
slide?
pool. Uh
Do they have a water slide?
I don't know. Don't remember seeing one at the other pools, but
That would be fun.
I don't care. It's water.
You'll be good like a hot tub. Or actually, you probably don't want a hot tub in the heat.
Yeah,
But
well, a hot tub in the summer isn't fun, but in the winter or when my back is really acting up, oh yeah, a hot tub is great.
yeah,
Yeah.
I like taking a nice warm bath. That's my hot tub.
Yeah, if I ever get my own place, I want to get one of those great big giant jacuzzi tubs where you can just go sit in the tub and turn the jets on, and I'd probably drown.
With bubbles, like I can just imagine the bubbles
Yeah,
overflowing.
yeah, lots of bubbles to the ceiling. Then you got to clean it all up.
It's important to have those times where you can just sit there and relax.
That's it. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
light some candles, put on some soothing music,
yeah, because life
fill
is
up a
so
hot tub
hard.
of water, bubble bath, and just
Yeah,
just kick back and soak. That's fantastic.
life is so hard, so serious. Sometimes you just need to sit there and bask in the bubbles. I love
That's
that.
yeah, that's
Bask
it.
in the bubbles.
That is it.
Viviani, I got the Five of Cups reversed, which is kind of like you might feel like you have like a dark cloud above your head every time you try and do something. You know, it just feels like you're in this fog. Um, and what this card is saying to me is like this fog will lift, and this could be some like about you asked about your path. It might seem a little foggy. You don't know where the next turn is going to be, but you know every cloud has a silver lining, and I always talk about this, but we all have certain points in our life that are meant to happen. It's called like a life blueprint. So think of it. I kind of think of it as like a board game, kind of, where like each time you move your piece, you're moving on a space that it has been destined for you since you've been born, and you have everybody has a life blueprint, and so never feel like you're wasting your potential because it's it's always going to work out in your best favor. So and just trust yourself. So that's what I get for you. I think you're amazing. That's all.
Yeah. All right. Start with Moonology. I pull the full moon in Taurus. It says your dreams need a practical plan. So depending on what road you're wanting to walk down, you need to carefully think it through and make sure you have a plan for where you're going. Because then I had one that jumped out of the deck at me right after I pulled this one, the first quarter moon, and it says your commitment is being tested. So make a plan and be prepared to be tested. And then out of the Work Your Light Oracle, I got align your life. What needs to be aligned or what needs to be changed? Take a step back, look at things, and decide what's the best decision for you going forward. Oh, what'd you do?
Oh, nothing. I just turned on my light. I thought it would look fun.
Yeah, it looks like Batman or something. You
Yes.
need to put a Batman symbol on
When
there.
you need help, you know who to call.
There you go. We call Aiden when we
I
need
just
help.
don't I just don't do plumbing. I won't solve your plumbing issues.
Hi, Ocean Garnet. Okay, let's see. Next up, last question on the list, we have Isabella. What's the significance of finding a playing card when you're on a walk? Huh. I would I would think that first it would depend on what card it is you find and how that might relate to you. Um, if you're dealing with emotional love type issues and you find a card that's a heart that may be telling you, hang in there, your heart's being protected. Um, if you find a card that's a diamond, then that's telling you, you know, check your pockets before you wash your clothes. You might find an extra $5 bill in there. That's always a nice discovery. In the wintertime when you pull all your sweaters out and you find money in pockets that you didn't remember putting in there, so um, I'm good at doing that. um, I would think it would depend on what number. I mean, is it a face card? Is it a number card? Different numbers have different meanings. You can go online and pretty much look up any numbered meaning that you want to know what they are. Um, so I mean, maybe it's spirit telling you you need to learn to read if you're not a reader already, and you be drawing your own cards to help people.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think it depends on what the card is. And, I kind of closed my eyes for a second and thought about it. And I think one of the messages that goes along with finding this is, I don't know, it kind of sounded like poetry a little bit, but I'll say what I got. You've been dealt a hand that is unique to you. And that can mean a variety of things. I think finding that card could have been like a metaphor for like, you never know what someone else is going through, and no one knows what you're going through unless you're honest, unless you're open. Um, that's just like kind of the little message I got for that. But definitely what Sherry said, look up the card and
And she said it was a king of clubs. So I mean, that's a wand. Clubs are equal to wands, and that's supposed to be. Um, aren't wands the one associated with intelligence, thinking,
yeah, like
planning?
creativity.
Um, so I mean, a king. Okay, so that's a face card. So that it's something of importance that's coming your way. That's maybe going to be intellectual. Um, maybe a book that you run across that opens your eyes to something you never thought about before, or maybe an opportunity for to teach a class or to take a class, or whatever. um, yeah, that's I mean, beside what Aiden was saying, I mean, just like I said, depending on what card. I love MLR said, when I find a Joker card, I take it as a sign that the universe is laughing at me.
Yeah, I love that.
Or maybe laughing with you, not laughing at you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always important to remember that life
Take it in a
isn't meant
positive.
yeah, life isn't meant to be taken so seriously. You know, we're here to learn and we're here to grow and we're here to just enjoy what comes our way. Even if we're going through hard times, we have to make the best of it because
That's
that's the
it.
only way we're going to survive.
That's it. And today being what today is kind of helps cap off the fact that you never know what tomorrow is going to bring. So,
Yeah, and celebrate while you can.
yeah,
Celebrate.
celebrate your day, live it to the fullest.
Yeah.
Hug those around you. Tell somebody I love you. They may say, "What do you want?" Just say, "I just want to say I love you." You know, um, Smile. Smile at a complete stranger, you know. If you're in line buying a coffee at Starbucks, pay for the guy behind you. It doesn't just affect the guy behind you that you bought his coffee, but everybody in the store that's working is be like, wow, they just bought some stranger's coffee. It affects them as well. So every time we try to do something that's on the positive side, it has ripples. It's the pebble in the pond. The ripples keep going. You may not see them after a while because the ripples get very kind of flat, but it's still rippling outwards. And so that smile at a stranger in the grocery line this morning may completely change somebody's life during the day that you're not even aware of, you know. Um, my late husband had a hard fast rule. You never left the house without telling everybody that whoever was home, without saying I love you and giving them a hug. Because because his attitude was you never know if you're coming back. That's more true today than any other time in history, you know. Just going to the 7-Eleven can be dangerous. I mean, um, so yeah, just appreciate what's around you. Appreciate the people around you. Tell people I love you. Smile, wave,
Yeah.
say hi. I hope you have a nice day. They may look at you like you're crazy, but who's to say that you don't change that person's life in that moment? It can, yeah, it can make a lot. It can make a big difference.
Yeah.
Um,
This has been
and it
so
was like
amazing.
that hour went fast.
Yeah, this has been so amazing. I loved getting to do this. It felt like homecoming. Felt like I haven't done this in a while, and I'm so glad that I got to do this with you and read for these amazing people, and hopefully, like you said, change their lives for the better. For the
Oh
better.
yeah, I found this community right after lockdown hit, which was like about 6 months after I had my mom had died. Um, I was not in a good place, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. I was just not in a good place, and the first website that came across my feed when I was just watching videos was Diane from Diane's Tarot, and she blew me away. I was like, I didn't know this kind of stuff even existed on, especially on YouTube. I mean, I didn't know that much about YouTube. It was still kind of new.
Yeah.
Um, and I just, one channel led to another channel, led to another channel. And I just kept watching and didn't talk. I didn't chat. I just lurked for
Yeah.
the first, what, 4, 5, 6 months. And then I finally responded to something going on a show, on a live stream. And it was like an explosion. The amount of people that started messaging me and talking to me, and the host of the show were laughing at what I was saying and posting it up on the banner, you know, for everybody to look at and laugh. It was like I couldn't
Yeah.
believe what I had fell into. And then they started telling me, I started getting different people telling me, you're psychic, you know, you need to be reading cards. And I didn't believe them. And they were like, no, no, it's time for you to start reading. And it was when I started, it felt like going home. It did. It was a
Yeah.
remarkable feeling. And hi Kelly.
Hi,
And I got your
Kelly.
email. I just haven't had time to respond to emails, but I'm gonna do it today. Um,
I miss you, Kelly. I hope you're doing good up there in Canada.
yes. And so thank y'all for coming. Enjoy your Memorial Day. Enjoy your barbecue. We barbecued yesterday, so today I get to be lazy after I wash the towels. Um, Laundry never stops. Um, thank you, Aiden, for coming and hanging out with me.
Yeah.
Um, School's out.
Yes.
Summertime's here.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
and
Thank you
then,
for
yeah,
asking
now
me
I can
to.
get them.
Thank you for asking me to be here. I really enjoy getting to read.
I don't. I try not to bother you during semester because I know you're studying, and it's like I don't want to pull away from your school because I know how important that is. But the minute we had graduation on our campus, I was like, okay, if he's not done yet, he will be in the next week or so. I'm gonna buzz him now.
Yeah, so let your favorite readers know in their comment section that Aiden wants to collab with them. So have them
That's
send me an
right.
email and let them know that I'm open to collab and you know.
That's it. Well, and Mel is leaving. Mel Dore, he's leaving for Africa next week. I think it's next week, and he'll be gone for a while. And
Yeah.
then I'm not sure how long he'll be back before he goes to Italy. I think he's doing an Italy trip. It's like, man, I would love to be able to hop on one of those trips and go. I don't even have a passport. I'd have to I'd have to go get a passport. But oh, it would be cool to be able to travel, see different countries. That would be
Yeah.
awesome. Um,
Well, it was nice getting to see all of you and meet some new people. I loved being able to be in your presence and you know.
like I said, I love your energy. You always make me feel good.
Thank you.
Ever
I'm
since the first time I saw you was on Autumn's channel, Black and Orange, and it just your energy was just so bright. I was watching you there. I was like, wow, he's awesome. And then it didn't take long before you were everywhere, and it was like, this guy is great. And so I'm glad we got to be friends. And I can call on you to come over and hang
yeah.
out in the swamp with me.
Yeah, I loved that. So, yeah, thank you for asking me to
You're
join you.
more than welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you for saying yes. Thank you to everybody who showed up today. Y'all go out and have yourself a wonderful Memorial Day. Um, go and don't eat too much. And I will see y'all Wednesday night, Sisters of the Mystical Tarot, 6 o'clock Central, 7 Eastern. And so we'll see y'all then. And then you got anything coming up, Aiden? Anybody?
No, I think on Wednesday night I will be watching the new Little Mermaid movie. So,
So Aiden is free. Spread the word. Tell everybody, give him a call. He's ready. School's
yes,
out.
and I will answer. I've already had a few people email me about collabs. I should schedule them. So,
Awesome,
I want
awesome.
I want to get back with Autumn and do another video with her. And I want to bring back Aiden and the Expert. I think that would be fun. So,
Well, that was a good series you were doing.
thank
I
you.
enjoyed that. So,
Thank you.
um, uh, and then, oh, this coming Friday, I have Juno and Danny Bathrobe Tarot coming on Friday afternoon. So that'll be fun.
Yes,
Danny
yes.
makes me laugh.
Yeah.
Then Juno and I have our every other Sunday thing, but this coming week it'll be on Friday. So because we had to accommodate Danny and his schedule. So and so y'all have a wonderful, wonderful day and week. Everybody smile, and we'll see you soon. Bye for
Bye,
now.
guys.